3, a triple whammy, right? I gotta tell you, folks, it works. It is evidence-based on the latest clinical science, the latest studies. We've used the exact ratios that were in all the studies in the Fortify Fit Pro. So I highly recommend, and I endorse it 100%, Fortify Fit Pro. Give it a try, see what you think. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. It's as simple as that.
Millen Booth Road in Clearwater. Online at Fortify.com. And listen to Ask the Doctor Saturday morning at 9 on AM 930 The Answer.
Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 10 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor, or Ask the Doctors this morning. It's me, Dr. Michael Lange. I've been hosting Ask the Doctor since April of 1993. Currently, it's the longest running live medical talk show in the country. But it is Ask the Doctors also this morning. It is Dr. Susan Summerton, who is my co-host, and also the asset at the Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. And we got a really exciting show planned for today. First, I want to wish everybody a very happy and healthy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Dr. Summerton, and good morning.
Happy Valentine's Day, Dr. Lang, and to all our listeners and callers out there. And I believe your outfit is resembling another holiday that we're celebrating, because it doesn't look like it's all full of red and hearts. I see a lot of purple and green and gold there.
Well, it really is. And this is my New Orleans style coming out. Most of you know I grew up in New Orleans, grew up in Metairie. And, it is Mardi Gras really for me, because the whole week before Fat Tuesday, we celebrate, and it's Mardi Gras. So I'm in my Mardi Gras attire right now. So you're watching us live video streaming. I'm out in my Valentine's attire. I couldn't find any heart hats anyway. So this is similar to what we're going to be wearing at our big Mardi Gras festival coming up. And so we got a big festival coming up for everybody in the villages, or everybody in the state of Florida, anybody that wants to drive over to the Lange Eye Institute in the villages next Saturday is our own Mardi Gras extravaganza. We're going to be having 35% off frames, 35% off lenses, 35% off all Fortify vitamins. We're going to have jambalaya. We're going to have king cake. We're going to have contests for everybody dressed up in their outfits. We're going to have a golf cart contest where everybody decorates their golf carts as floats. And Dr. Summerton, you got a golf cart, don't you?
I do, and there might be a decorated one coming up. I actually went to the villages yesterday to their Mardi Gras parade, and it's fun to see everybody getting into it with their beads and their colorful outfits. And so we look forward to continuing that event, an extra weekend bonus there next Saturday.
That's right. And I want to wish everybody in New Orleans a very happy and safe Mardi Gras. It's a big party. New Orleans is a party town, so it's okay to party. Just be very careful. My public service announcement: do not drink and drive. take an Uber, have a designated driver, enjoy the festivities, but not while you're in the car. Also, we're going to have some Cajun music. We're going to have Zydeco music. We're going to have some jazz, all at the Lange Eye Institute on, what is that, the 21st? February 21st. And, I got to chime in about this. There's a lot of little holidays that we celebrate during this month and next month. I mean, think about it. We got Valentine's Day. We got Fat Tuesday. We got Ash Wednesday. And then we got Lent starting. And then we have, Holy Thursday. And then Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and then Easter. So we got a lot going on over the next few months, don't we, Dr. Summerton?
It is, and we like that social events. That's part of that Blue Zones kind of friendly living where you do get out and enjoy yourself and spend time with people you love, laughing and celebrating. And these are the times when we can really increase that kind of joy in our life and get out there and just enjoy ourselves. And I did want to bring up we also talk about New Orleans a lot. I know you're a big fan of New Orleans, but I hope you don't get mad at me for saying this, but did you know that New Orleans wasn't the first place for Mardi Gras? It was actually Mobile, Alabama for the United States where it celebrated it in 1703.
Those Alabamians, wow, that Southern charm. They had to do it before us NOLA boys. Huh, I didn't realize that. The things you learn on Ask the Doctor from Dr. Summerton. Mobile does celebrate. They have floats, they have parades, but they don't do it the way we do it in New Orleans. They really don't. So I want to open up the phone lines. We're getting ready to take the first caller in a second. But if you got a question, remember this show is dedicated to you, the listener, the consumer, the viewer, the patient, the customer. And the phone number is 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. It's a live call-in show. So if you have a question regarding your vision, eye care. So we are eye doctors, optometric physicians, but we're also certified nutritional specialists. So any nutritionally related topic as well, you can give us a call and we try to answer it to the best of our ability. If we don't know the answer, we're not going to fake it. We'll do the research and get back with you. So the number is 1-877-969-8600. You can also learn more at fortify.com, FORTIFEYE, fortify.com. That's Fortify Vitamins. That's the supplement company I founded. I'm the lead formulator, and Dr. Summerton helps me with these formulations as well. And I got to tell you, the Fortify Fit meal is coming very close to reality. It's only a few weeks away, maybe 3 weeks, and you can learn a lot more about it because it's on the website now. We've been talking about Fortify Fit meal for 2 years. So go to the website, go to weight loss. I think under weight loss is where it is right now. And that's Fortify Fit meal. You can read all of the science, see all the studies, look at the frequency asked questions that I've already put up there. And you can actually pre-order, I think, now for the Fortify Fit meal, not Fit Pro, Fortify Fit meal. And Fortify Fit Pro is actually on back order because of the huge shortage in whey protein. And we'll expand on that in a few more minutes. But let's go to the first caller. I think it's Natasha. Natasha, good morning. Thanks for holding. How the heck are you?
I am amazing. Happy Valentine's Day to you and Dr. Summerton.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Sorry, my connection wasn't so great. So you had talked about a party that we're having, and I wanted to elaborate on a couple things on some awesome vendors that we're going to have there, if I can do that for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we've got people like Tom Ford. So we've got Tom Ford frames there, Adidas, Guess, Saint Laurent, Cartier, Coco Song, which is the most unique, Caroline Herrera, Oakley Tura. It's going to be freaking amazeballs. We've got 35%, which is huge, off of these frames. Lens packages, lens specials. We're going to have food. It's going to be a party. I'm so freaking excited. I just wanted to call in and just make sure that everybody knew how big and how amazing this is going to be. And it's from 10 to 2 next Saturday. Did you tell them about the golf cart party that we're doing?
Why don't you enlighten us a little bit more? Because you're on a roll. You're on a freaking roll.
Oh my God. I'm so freaking pumped. You have no idea. Like, I have been planning my outfit for months, guys. And this is huge, huge. So we are doing a golf cart. So you will decorate your golf cart in your absolute best Mardi Gras style. Absolute best, guys. That's what we want. We're doing it starting at 10:30. We're doing our parade. Spots are limited, so make sure you let us know if you're going to be in that. There's going to be a prize. It's going to be freaking huge. I'm so excited about it.
I can tell you're stoked, aren't you?
I am so stoked. I love a good party, and this is probably going to be the biggest party we've ever thrown, like literally ever. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be huge. Like, I'm so ready for it, and I know everyone's ready for it.
It's going to be fun because usually we throw a fall festival every year, and we have about 5,000 people show up for the fall festival, all in all. But remember, the fall festival is when all the snowbirds are already gone. So the snowbirds said, why don't you throw a party when we are back in town? So the snowbirds are back. There's no excuse. And we're inviting the whole town. You can bring your family, your friends. We're going to feed everybody. There's about a lot of music, a lot of good deals, a lot of philanthropy going on as well. We're going to give a lot of free stuff away to people. So come on out to the Lange Eye Institute this next Saturday. That is February 21st, 10 to 2. And we're going to be broadcasting live. Dr. Summerton and I are going to be broadcasting live from the Lange Eye Institute. So we'll have to let Salem Media know that. And I think David Snow may make a guest appearance, the famous David Snow of Dr. Health Radio. He's got one of the longest running talk shows in the country. And Tony, our amazing weight loss, anti-aging, muscle building machine, may be also making a guest appearance. So we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great show next week, so make sure everybody tunes in. Thank you, Natasha.
It's going to be fantastic. Hey, you're welcome. You guys have the most amazing day on purpose, guys.
Hey, Natasha, before you go, you do bring up a point. We didn't really talk about how many thousands of frame selections there'll be. You mentioned all those
Oh
that
my
are
God.
coming. Not only do we have our normal selection of frames in our optical, but those vendors, how many thousands do you estimate of choices of frames will be there that day?
Oh my God. Like, honestly, probably at least a couple thousand or more. We're going to be bringing in frames that we do not have within our location at the moment at the store. Like, these are frames that you can only get at the show. So if you want to see something unique and beautiful and fantastic, this is the day to come. Plus you get a discount on it, which is huge. So not only are you seeing something that nobody else has, but you're getting it in various colors, various sizes, so you can find exactly what works best for you. We've got people there to help you put those on and say, hey, these look amazing on you, or hey, listen, let's try something else. We want to be there to help you, to guide you, and put you in something that you're going to put on every day and go, I am the freaking boss.
Good. And we're also going to have a lot of other vendors there, you know, holistic vendors, and Dr. Jiva from A to Z Health will be there. And a lot of really interesting technological advancements for eye care and overall health and well-being. And remember, you're going to be getting that 35% off the Fortify vitamins. So it's going to be a big deal. Everybody, we're inviting everybody. Come on out to the our first annual Mardi Gras extravaganza at the Lange Eye Institute next Saturday from 10 to 2. All right, we're getting ready to go to the phones. Natasha, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. You guys have a beautiful day.
You too. I did look up the weather. It's going to be a sunny 82 degrees next Saturday for the festival.
And no rain, no rain. We had a little rain at our last disco. The last event was a little disco. We still had a lot of people show up, even though we had rain. You know, we have tents set up, and the Institute is huge if it did rain, but it's going to be beautiful. So we're inviting everybody to come on out. All right. Once again, if you'd like to see Dr. Summerton or myself at the Lange Eye Institute, you can learn more at drmichaellang.com, drmichaellang.com, or langeyecare.com, langeyecare.com. And the phone number, if you'd like to set up an appointment to see one of us for an eye exam, or Dr. Lori Caputi, the phone number is 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. Also, I want to mention we are hiring at the Lange Eye Institute. A lot of you know we recently expanded. I put another 12 rooms in. We expanded to another wing at the Lange Eye Institute. So we are hiring. We're hiring people for the front desk, technicians, scribes, billing, optical, lab, just about anybody and everybody we need more help, don't we, Dr. Summerton?
We do because we are always expanding and we want to make sure we provide the top customer service by having the team staff support. And I must admit, we are very blessed with the team that we have. We do constantly get compliments on our team from the moment you walk into the door. We have a great front staff, to our technicians that help us with our patients, to our scribes that are in there with the exam room, to our optical staff that are helping people with the glasses, and to our insurance that's doing the billing for us. It takes a full team, not just the doctors.
We do have a great team and we're getting loaded up. So we're going to take the second call of the morning. Let's go to Lumberton, Mississippi. Scott in Lumberton. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Doc. How y'all doing this morning?
Fabulous. How's it in Mississippi?
Oh, pretty good. And had me some pancakes from fresh blueberries. Mississippi blueberries, baby.
There you go. Hopefully they're grown without any pesticide.
No, none at all. But I wanted to ask, I run across you every once in a while. I've called before. But I wanted to ask, is there any kind of early detection that the average person, say like for glaucoma or your peripheral vision? So I went to the doctor and I had a great pressure of like 14, I believe it was. And I did this video game looking like thing, screen. Find this, you can see a dot, whether it's bright or whether it's light, press the button, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, of course, I press a button 100 times, thinking it's spots. But then they just say, well, I think you just overdid it. You're kind of seeing things maybe. But my peripheral vision has been very good and all this and that. But I was just wondering if your take on, say, the average person, what they can detect, if there's a way to detect early glaucoma or any peripheral vision problem, if that's not too fast.
Yeah, that's a great question. The problem with glaucoma is the sneak thief of your sight, okay? You really have no symptoms until it's too late. By the time your peripheral vision is detectable, like you can't see your fingers wiggling out in the corners, it's really too late, okay? So this is why you see a local optometrist, optometric physician, ophthalmologist routinely. Not only are they checking your pressure is only one risk factor for glaucoma. A lot of the other things come into play. We've got to look at the size of the optic nerve, the thickness of the nerve fiber layer and the ganglion cells, the functioning ability via the visual field test that you just did. And oftentimes we do electroretinograms. We also have to analyze the thickness of your cornea, the angle, whether or not the filtering system is clogged or open. And we even take things into consideration now, blood pressure. Low blood pressure can be a risk for certain types of glaucoma, believe it or not, low blood pressure. So, yeah, there's no symptoms. For cataracts, there's symptoms. There's blurred vision and there's glare. For macular degeneration, there's symptoms because you're starting to lose your central vision and have distorted vision. But glaucoma, there really is no symptoms at all. That's why you really have to see the eye doctor. Dr. Summerton and I, we see a lot of glaucoma. We treat a lot of glaucoma. We have a very large glaucoma practice, and we see this on a daily basis, and we have to educate the patients on a daily basis on what's going on because, remember, no pain. So, Dr. Summerton, it's kind of interesting because we'll see patients that think they don't have any pain. We start them on drops, so they might not show up for a while, and that could be a bad thing, isn't it?
Right, because it's nothing that you can really feel, and you can have 20/20 vision and have glaucoma, and patients will think, "Oh, well, my peripheral vision is fine," but thank you, our caller, for bringing that up. We test it, what he's talking about, that visual field test when you have to press that button when you see the lights. Anyone who's done that before knows exactly what I'm talking about because we're measuring that peripheral vision because we are concerned because we really don't have a cure for glaucoma. We want to prevent it from getting worse because once you get those blind spots, we don't have a way right now to recover those blind spots. So we want to intervene the soonest we possibly can and put you through that testing with not only the pressure you mentioned. One test that we do that not all offices have really gotten on board is what we call an ERG, and that's kind of an electrophysical test that measures the electrical activity of the retina cells responding to light. And that gives us more of a function on how what we call your retina ganglion cells are doing. And it's relevant because that's what gets damaged in glaucoma. So we can see how those cells are functioning to see if there's a decrease. And it almost gives us kind of a prediction too, statistically, if your cells are functioning poor or if they're not, to whether we think it will turn into glaucoma or continue to get worse. So we don't just look at one thing. There's many tests that we do that we put together to figure out whether it's narrow angle, open angle, closed angle, low risk, moderate risk, high risk, and then treat accordingly.
Right. So it's a thing that really needs to be evaluated by your eye doctor. And it sounds like they're on top of things. If they're running a visual field test on you, Scott, then it's a possibility that you have some other risk factors for glaucoma. You might have an enlarged, what we call CD ratio, cup to disc ratio in your optic nerve. There is some things you can do naturally if you're suspicious for glaucoma and you're not to the point where they want to treat it with medication. You know, a little bit of cardiovascular health is good. You know, getting out walking or biking or treadmill, weight management, getting down to your ideal body weight, eating a lot of fish or taking a good omega-3 fish oil. And then also something I created a few years ago after lots and lots of research is a supplement made by Fortify Vitamins called Eye Pressure and Neurocognitive Support. So it's Fortify Eye Pressure and Neurocognitive Support. It's a combination of mirtogenol, which is pine bark extract and bilberry, and something called Numentix, a spearmint extract that has been shown to have neuroprotective properties. And also the combination has been shown to lower intraocular pressure, and in some of our patients, as much as 30% naturally. So this does not replace treatment, but it can be used if you're suspicious, if you just want to have the nutrients that are good for your optic nerve and your brain. It also helps working memory, helps night vision, helps reaction time. So I take it. I've got my 98-year-old mom on it. So it is called Fortify Eye Pressure and Neurocognitive Support. You can go to the website at fortify.com and you can see all the science and all the research and the actual studies behind it. All right, Scott. Hope that answered your question.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a lot of good information, and don't be surprised if I ever come up that way and get that ERG Dr. Summerton was talking about. And gosh golly, it's really a lot of information. I really appreciate your time.
All right. Well, thanks for the call, Scott. Lumberton, Mississippi,
All
over
right.
and out. Gosh,
One
right.
more thing for Scott is we also take into account sleep apnea. There's a lot of undiagnosed sleep apnea out there, and that's one of the things for what we call normal pressure glaucoma. If you have sleep apnea and normal pressure glaucoma, especially, that's really going to speed up the damage that happens there. So if there's suspicion of that, we want you going to your doctor to get tested for sleep apnea. We don't want you to have that lack of oxygen while you're sleeping because that will make the glaucoma worse.
And you know what? I'm going to chime in before we get the next call. We got Mary on hold. We're going to take her call in just a second. But since you brought up sleep, we're on a roll on sleep. And you mentioned this not too long ago, Dr. Summerton, but you know, we all say you need 6 to 8 hours of sleep to thrive, right? And then there's new studies that show too much sleep may be bad. Too much sleep actually may accelerate glaucoma. So anything greater than 9 hours of sleep a day, it actually significantly raises the odds of visual impairment, glaucoma being one of them. So don't sleep over 9 hours. That's kind of interesting news, wouldn't you think, Dr. Summerton?
I know, because our goal, sometimes we think more is better, but just like a lot of things, it's the balance of making sure not too much, but not too little. But I'm pretty impressed if someone has time to sleep more than 9 hours because I don't even know if I've ever done that.
I'm sure I'm still trying to get 3 hours. All right, we're going to go back to the phones. Let's see. Mary's been waiting patiently. Mary, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's,
Yes,
everybody. My original question had to do with sarcopenia. But after listening to the Mississippian gentleman a moment ago, he reminded me of something about cataracts. And I have been reading that apparently cataracts are prompted by too much sugar in your blood. And I don't know whether I read that with whom. But there's another person, another doctor, Dr. William Lee, that I think in his angiogenesis studies said something about that and about the fact that these little veins that go to the eye produces that. So my question is, can you, in fact, it doesn't help me, but could you, in fact, avoid cataracts if your blood sugar levels or whatever it is that it's promoting this idea, this illness, whatever, you keep them on the really good levels, especially when you're younger?
That's a great question. And I don't think there's any study that would prove that or negate that. The problem with a cataract is an avascular organ, if you will. There's no blood vessels going to the lens in your eye. And so the way that lens gets nutrients is in the embryonic stages when you're in the mother's womb. There's something called the hyaloid artery that brings nutrients via kind of the optic nerve to the lens. And then after that, that just disintegrates throughout life. So I guess it gets nutrients through the aqueous and the vitreous. And the question is, are diabetics more prone to getting cataracts? Is it related to blood sugar? Is it related to poor diet? I guess oxidative stress certainly can accelerate cataracts. But also, there's a lot of outdoor potential problems. The sun, all right? The blue light from the digital world that we live in. All these things can cause oxidative stress to the lens and cause the lens to go from clear to yellow to brown. And a lot of people try these reversal drops. And remember, it's very difficult to reverse a cataract. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's virtually near impossible. We've tried everything. We've tried every drop, every supplement. And, once it's already cloudy, it's very difficult. Usually that cloudiness gets worse and worse. And you got to see a competent cataract surgeon to remove it. And then you have really crystal clear vision. Remember, cataracts is one of the leading cause of blindness in third world countries because those cataracts aren't removed and they get worse and worse and worse. Dr. Summerton is a nutrition guru and used to teach nutrition also. What do you think about the whole blood sugar thing and cataracts?
Yeah, we definitely see an increase in cataracts with our uncontrolled diabetic patients. And it's really responding to that excess glucose. And that glucose binds to these proteins that are in the lens of the eye where the cataract forms. And we call it glycation. And that makes those proteins in there get kind of stiff and almost clumpy. And then they lose that clear transparency that light has to pass through the lens. And then those damaged proteins, instead of transmitting that light clearly, they scatter that light. So one of the first things of symptoms of cataracts is when you're driving at night, you notice those starburst kind of halo effects of the light because light can't enter your eye through that clear lens anymore. It's hitting those damaged proteins and scattering. And definitely too much sugar, increasing that glucose definitely affects it. And so it also converts into, I believe it was sorbitol. Sorbitol, that's what pulls that water into the lens and causes that structural damage too. And again, you lose clarity of the lens and speeds up cataracts. So diet is another thing that can affect cataracts. I know talking to colleagues, and I think Dr. Lang and you and I talked about that people, we've tried to take note, not just on studies, but clinically what we see. And there's definitely people we see more cataracts, and then other people that are older, and you're like, wow, you barely have any cataract. And I've kind of noticed people that are on long-term, like a strong antioxidant like astaxanthin, there seems to be less formation of cataracts there. But it makes sense because those antioxidants are helping reduce those damaged cells. And so there's a possible connection there in slowing down that cataract formation.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I've seen many people that have been taking our Fortify Focus or our Focus and Brain for years and years and years. Me being one of them, I've been on 2 Fortify Focus for 18 years now. And if you look at the lens in my eye, I'm 63 years old. I have virtually no lenticular changes. Or you look at my brother's eyes, now that's different. And he's, a grade 2.5 cataract. And he just started taking the Fortify Focus recently. I mean, like in the last 3 months. So I'm not saying that's a cure-all by any means, but nutrition is so very important. You know, eating the dark green leafy vegetables for the lutein, the orange bell peppers and goji berries for the zeaxanthin, and the wild Alaskan salmon for the astaxanthin, or simply taking Fortify Focus or Fortify Focus and Brain if you're not going to eat those nutrients, or something similar that has that same type of nutrient profile. Just remember, when you're looking for carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin and astaxanthin, make sure you're getting trademarked nutrients. It just doesn't say astaxanthin, lutein, or zeaxanthin. Make sure it says the brand. You want branded. Otherwise, it's generic. It's coming out of China, and you don't know what the heck you're getting, to be honest with you. So Fortify Focus, I recommend to everybody, and also recommend a good omega-3 to everybody in the re-estified triglyceride form. Remember, omega-3 makes the carotenoids absorb even better. All right, Mary?
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. It's Dr. Michael Lange with Dr. Susan Summerton here at Salem Media, and we're broadcasting coast to coast on the Ask the Doctor Network and live video streaming all over the world and on a multitude of podcast channels. If you got a question, give us a call at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about the benefits that we've seen now on OptiLight and OptiLift. Luminous OptiLight, luminous OptiLift, especially the combination of the two for people with meibomian gland dysfunction, dry eye, and lower lid laxity. We've seen some dramatic benefits since we've been doing this procedure for 1 year on our dry eye patients. And we're going to expand on that in a few minutes, but we're getting loaded up. We're going to Steve in Clearwater first. Steve, good morning. Rise and shine.
Good morning. How are you? Yeah, last week, I believe there was another person by the name of Mary that called about constipation. And what I looked at was in older people. Now, she didn't sound that old, so this may not apply to her. But, you know, you talk about sarcopenia. Well, the muscles around that cause the peristalsis, when people get older, they get a sarcopenia in the visceral intestinal muscles too. And that causes them to be weaker, and so their peristalsis is weaker, and that may explain why older people tend to get more constipation. Now, that is the contractions are based on acetylcholine, and so they have found that some people can get better peristalsis with vitamin B5, which stimulates the production of, I believe it's acetyl coenzyme A, and helps that contraction increase in intensity. One other thing I learned, and I have a lot more things I can talk about this, but I know you want to keep it down to a certain time. People who take milk of magnesia, you know how you talk about your copper zinc ratio? Yep. The problem with taking a lot of milk of magnesia is you're taking a lot of magnesium, far in excess of what you would normally have. There is, just like copper and zinc are antagonistic, magnesium is antagonistic with a mineral, and guess which one that is?
Which one?
Calcium.
No, manganese. Notice the similar in name, magnesium, manganese. And you're right about the calcium too. That's true too. But they're finding that people who took a lot of magnesium for quite a long period of time are very low in manganese. And Dr. Summerton, you're absolutely right. Calcium's affected too, but I forgot in what way. And another thing for cardiology today, and I promise no more than 60 seconds here, I'd like to refer on cardiologists for Valentine's Day. There is a very good website about the heart that will give you information that no cardiologist will. It's called heartmath.com. It's either heartmath.com or .org. Try both of them. And there's some very interesting things on there.
Excellent.
And have a great day.
Thanks, Steve. Happy Valentine's Day, my friend. All right.
And have a great time. I wish I could come to your party, but unfortunately I can't.
Or you could start walking early.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Very good.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, we're going to take some more calls in just a second. Also, since it is Valentine's Day and we want to talk about the heart, here's another good website you can go to that talks a lot about the heart. It talks about reduction in heart attacks, reduction in atrial fibrillation, via what? Omega-3 fish oil. So go to healthbenefitsofomega3.com. 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 And you'll learn a lot about the health benefits of omega-3. So Steve brought up something about that aspect of vitamin B5 and constipation. So B complex is actually very good for you. Another good reason, to take B complex, it lowers homocysteine, all right? It helps with macular degeneration, and now we know it helps with constipation as well. So something like the Fortify Complete, which is a good multivitamin eye vitamin, has all the B complex you need, and even the Fortify Macular Defense, zinc-free and regular Fortify Macular Defense also has all the latest in the methylated form of B vitamins. All right, we're going back to the phones. I think Michael in the Villages is next. Let's go to Michael in the Villages. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Am I there?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, two things. I had a detached retina, and it's slowly coming back in the right eye. And what I'd like to do is see if there any other vitamin that would help that. And then secondly, your fortified eye vitamins for the low pressure, because I still have high pressure and I take dozolamide Timidol every day,
right?
2 drops or twice a day to keep that pressure down. So if this fortified vitamin would help with that, is that something you think might help?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not a cure, it's not a treatment, but it's giving you the nutritional evidence that can help possibly aid in neuroprotection of the optic nerve and the brain. So there's studies. If you go to the fortify.com and then go to eye pressure support, you'll actually see that under the science section, you'll see all the clinical studies. Some really good studies showing it does lower intraocular pressure and aids in neuroprotection of the ganglion cells and the nerve fiber layer. So it can be used in conjunction with the treatment that you're doing. And then you can follow up with your doctor and see if your pressure comes down even more. Who knows? Sometimes maybe you can at least get off one medication, maybe not. But I like it because of the neuroprotective properties. And since I race cars, I like it because it improves night vision and improves reaction time as well. So there's nothing negative about it. It's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to replace your glaucoma treatment. I just want you to know that. Now, as far as your retina goes, I don't think there's any evidence that proper nutrition would decrease a retinal detachment, but I think there's plenty of evidence that proper nutrition can help slow down potential aging in the retina, especially in the macula. So we don't want to get macular degeneration as we age. And I've seen patients that are in really good shape, ideal body weight. They take the right supplements and they do very well. The big problem, Michael, is a lot of the supplements create more harm than good in the eye. So supplements like beta carotene, high dosages of beta carotene, block the absorption of the carotenoids that are good for your retina. Things like lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin. High dosages of zinc, especially in the zinc oxide, DNA studies that we were actually involved in years ago, show it might actually accelerate certain DNA SNPs in people, accelerate their macular degeneration and predispose them to neurocognitive decline and even prostate issues later in life. So you got to be careful with beta carotene. You got to be careful with zinc. That's why we created the Fortify Next Gen Macular Defense that's zinc free. And as long as you're not a vegan, and as long as you're not on a diuretic and drink a lot of booze and have ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, I would recommend the zinc-free version of our macular defense. So sort of as a protective and a preventative approach.
That's great. This is great information. Thank you.
And then, Michael, if you're in the Villages, come by our big party we're having next Saturday, and you can talk in more depth with me about the issues. And then remember, you get 35% off on all these supplements during that time.
And Dr. Lange, you'll be there?
I will be there from about 8:30 until we close, till 4 or so. And then I'm getting in the car, believe it or not, and my lovely bride, Tammy, and I are going to drive all the way to New Orleans. My brother has to have heart catheterization and angiogram on Monday morning, so I'm going to be there for him. And I'm going to drive in there. So I'm not going to have a lot of time to stick around afterwards, but during the festivity from 10 to 2, I have plenty of time to talk.
That sounds great. I'm going to make every attempt to try to make it up there. It sounds great. I can't wait. You're very close to me, so I'll be there.
Michael, look forward to seeing you.
And Michael, if you don't mind, I just want to add one more thing that Dr. Lang is also a big fan of is going back to the omega-3 fish oil. Omega-3 is essential fatty acid and has what we call DHA in it. DHA, for some reason, is very known for infants. And when you buy baby formula, you want to make sure you have DHA in it. Well, the reason being because you need that DHA for proper brain and retina function and your visual pathway development. Well, our eyes, our retina never stops needing that DHA. In your eyes, those photoreceptor cells that detect the light, they have among the highest concentration of DHA in the body. So we know that that's incorporated into the retina to keep that retina, those membranes of those cells, fluid and flexible, so that the photoreceptors in your retina can do their job. It's kind of immoral to do lack of DHA studies on humans, but there is studies on animals that show if the retina doesn't have enough DHA, there's going to be abnormal retina structure and impaired vision responses there. So we want to make sure you're getting enough of, again, that essential omega-3 fatty acid.
Perfect.
Hey, that's good to know. Thank you very much.
And Dr. Summerton, we have a question for you online. Should glaucoma patients use fewer pillows? New research suggests glaucoma patients who sleep with their heads raised experience higher IOP than those sleeping in a supine position.
Right. We do have that little bit of pressure change depending on our position. But I think what you were saying before about getting the blood pressure too low, that's related to it.
Right.
So you mentioned that that can be a problem if that blood pressure drops. And so, again, depending on the position you're laying in, it can also affect your blood pressure. And we don't want it to drop into that like 60 or even worse, 50 range, because that can accelerate the progression of glaucoma.
Absolutely. So I think what happens when people lay down flat, their blood pressure does drop. So if you have elevated blood pressure, I'm not concerned. But if you have relatively low blood pressure to begin with, sleeping with a pillow or two probably isn't a bad idea, because what we know now, ocular perfusion pressure, and this is relatively new science to a lot of doctors, but it's been fairly common for us for years. If your bottom number, I think that's the diastolic, the systolic over diastolic, the bottom number, you really want to stick around 70, all right? You don't want it to drop much more, because what we do, we take your pressure and we subtract it from that bottom blood pressure number. Anything 50 or below is bad. So let's say your blood pressure is 130 over 70 and you have a 20 pressure in your eye. So 20 minus 70 is 50. That's the cutoff. So if your pressure was a little higher, 21 or 22, now you're below 50. Or if your blood pressure was lower, then you're below 50. So if your doctor's treating you for blood pressure and he's really happy because your low number is 50 and yet you're suspicious for glaucoma or you have glaucoma, tell him, look, doc, I want to raise my blood pressure a little bit. So that's a pretty good question. I'm glad you brought that up. All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctors. 877-969-8600, 877-969-8600. Let's go to Dennis in Gainesville. Dennis, good morning. Dennis in Gainesville.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Lang. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound like you're going down the toilet.
I'm sorry. How's that?
It's echoing.
How's that?
It's better. What can I do for you?
You think I might be a candidate for this thing for my retinal detachment? I'll be the right one or a right one for it?
Right one for, well, you're the right one for potential new technology that's coming down the road. All right. Currently, you probably just need to have a good diet. We've discussed this before. Eat a lot of colorful fruits and vegetables, wild Alaskan salmon, some eggs. Wear protective eyewear, because if I recall, one eye had a retinal detachment and you're not doing very well. So protective eyewear, we mentioned, I think last week, is very important. And seeing your retina specialist per their instruction, or seeing your local eye doctor per their instruction, and then keep the faith and a little prayer, and we hope nothing happens to your other eye. Got it?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty scary how the way I'm living right now because I'm looking at one eye, you know.
Right.
It's
Well,
difficult.
you can always think it could be a lot scarier, right? Because you could be looking at a no eyes and you could be totally blind. So be thankful for the vision you have in that one eye and protect the vision. So do the things that we preach. You listen to this show, exercise, weight management, eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. Consider taking a good supplement similar to what Fortify makes, and listen to what Dr. Summerton and I say. Dr. Summerton, you want to chime in?
It is just that overall health. And we do appreciate you, Dennis. Dennis must be an avid listener out there. And we appreciate you listening every week and you calling in. And we do want those healthy eyes. And we are blessed to have one healthy eye. And hopefully in the future, they are certainly working hard on it to bring people back to vision, even with little microchips they're inserting. So thank you for listening.
Absolutely. All right. Dennis has been a caller for a long time, and we're getting ready to take a next call in just a second. But before we take the next call, I just do want to mention we started doing OptiLight and OptiLift. This is made by Luminous now almost exactly a year ago, maybe 11 and a half months ago. And we've got a year of data now. We've got patients that had significant dry eyes. We've tried everything, I mean everything. And they still had significant dry eyes. Now using OptiLight, that's IPL, intense pulse light therapy. And oftentimes we combine the OptiLift, which uses radio frequency as deep heating and dynamic muscle stimulation. It's kind of like a little vibration or electrical current. And the combination of these is very effective at actually helping make the lids a little tighter up against the globe, opening the meibomian glands, decreasing inflammation in the meibomian glands, and helping to secrete a much healthier tear film. I mean, I have patients literally that were, totally depressed, close to being suicidal because they had so much pain in their eye from dry eye, that are living, a wonderful, happy life now because of the Luminous OptiLight and OptiLift. Remember, Luminous OptiLight is the only IPL that's FDA approved for meibomian gland dysfunction, the treatment of dry eye. So I'm really happy for this, for our life patients that have benefited for it. We do offer this. Dr. Summerton and I both do this procedure. It's painless, it's non-invasive, and it works. I mean, it works pretty good, doesn't it, Dr. Summerton?
It is, and that's something you bring up. We talk about vision and dry eye, but like you said, it affects your mood and how you feel. And if you're walking around, if you have shoes on that hurt your feet all day, you're going to have a pretty miserable day. Well, if your eyes are hurting all day, you're also going to have a miserable day. So we want to do all we can to do that. And I don't know if people know, we were at the office, at 8 o'clock on Thursday night doing the OptiLift on ourselves.
Right.
And it does work. You get that better blink. You reduce that eyelid sagging and puffiness. We stabilize that tear film, and you just kind of get that firmer, refreshed under eye appearance there. And just combining it with the OptiLight is just even better.
Right. And OptiLight also gets rid of Demodex mites and blepharitis. It helps reduce styes or the potential for getting styes. And we actually treat hordeolums, chalazions, and styes with the OptiLight, and sometimes a combination of the OptiLift as well. And then after you have these glands open and your tear films are working, it's up to you to keep them open. So we created the Fortify Advanced Dry Eye Therapy System. It's a supplement, comes in a box, 3 different supplements all in one. And it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, it's like $70. So that comes with omega-3. It comes with the Fortify Focus, and it comes with the black currant seed oil, all at a really good discount. It's called Fortify Advanced Dry Eye Therapy. And I've seen a definite correlation with once we open the meibomian glands, getting on this supplement, the meibomian glands are staying open, and maybe you don't have to have the procedure done again. Certainly some people are going to have it done again in a year, and some even earlier, depending on how they take care of themselves. All right, we're going back to the phones. Let's go to Eric in Gainesville. Eric, thanks for holding, and good morning.
Good morning, Doc. Doc, this might be out of your wheelhouse a little bit and might be an unfair question to ask you on air. but it has nothing to do with the science of eye care in so much as, look, I'm sure I'm part of a large group of people who are either, I'm 75, but more and more there are going to be people retired and on Social Security and receiving Medicare. And my own self, I qualify for Medicaid. And I have had little or no eye care because my eyes have always been good.
Right.
But I can see that in one eye I'm getting a little cloudy. My dad had glaucoma. And I can see that at 75, I've taken good care of myself nutrition-wise. So that's probably why I haven't had a whole lot of eye care. But now I'm looking for I think I need eye care. And the problem here is I have two insurances that I pay for, but Medicaid and Medicare.
Right.
And little or no cash income aside from my Social Security.
Right.
I'm looking for a place that can help me. Okay. I never had to do that before, but here we are. Okay.
Right.
And
Eric,
so what do you think, Doc?
Yeah. So Eric, we're getting running out of time. I mean, I'm happy to see you down at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, and we accept just whatever your Medicare pays us. It's as simple as that. And you wouldn't have any out of pocket from the examination standpoint. And we're going to have to get off the phone because we're out of time now. So I'm sorry for that. Dr. Summerton, you got like 8 seconds to tell everybody goodbye.
Thank you for listening and have a happy Valentine's Day.
Right. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, come on out to the Lange Eye Institute. Fortify Mardi Gras extravaganza next week. Have a great day. God bless you and God bless America.